Right on cue, Richard. Thank you very much, and well done to our top three in the MX5 Super Cup. But now it's something I'm sure will be, if you haven't woken up already on your Easter Sunday morning, this certainly should do it, because we've had one excellent mini race. How about another for your Easter Sunday? It's now the second race of the weekend for the Dunlop Mini Medias and Mini Libras, sponsored by Mini Spares. And I have to say, yesterday's race was nothing short of absolutely spellbinding between the top eight, as mini media racing always tends to be. The sevens were great, don't get me wrong, they were absolutely fantastic on both races, but the medias are just that tiny bit step up in pace and in competition and in how much they battle towards the front. And they are cool looking cars, they are faster than you think, and they put on a massive display of great racing. Here's the grid then, which I think is a reverse grid from yesterday partially. So Rob Howard will start in pole position alongside Colin Peacock on the front row of the grid. Then Ashley Davis and Ben Colburn will start on the second row. And then we've got Kane Aston and Jeff Smith on the third row of the grid. And then it will be the fourth row that we're coming through for Aaron Smith and Rupert Deeth, who won yesterday's first race. So the top eight reversed for this second race for the Dunlop Mini Melias. Then we go to row 5, where we see Lewis Selby, who's in the Napa Racing UK liveried car in ninth place. Alongside him is Phil Bullen Brown. And then back is Mark Sims and Sean King on the sixth row of the grid, ahead of Darren Cox, who's the man behind the race and WTF1 and World's Fastest Game and everything else. And we'll talk about him in a second. He starts on the 7th row of the grid alongside Larry Waugh in car 71. And then Robert Humphreys and Tony LeMay come next on row 8, followed by Darren Mason and Kieran McDonald, who round off the 18 cars that we should see starting in the Mini Media class. And then we have, hopefully, if the 3 cars that couldn't make it yesterday do get out, we should have Richard Colburn and then Phil Harvey on the next row of the grid, and then followed then should be hopefully Peter Hills and Lee Stanton. But the fact we show unknown competitor on the screen might well suggest that sadly neither of them did get out. So it looks like we've got again just the one Mini Libra racer, and possibly I think we lost maybe Darren Mason I think on the grid. So we should have 17 Mini Medias and 1 of the Mini Libra category. And they are out on their formation lap for their second race here in what is still beautiful Easter Sunday conditions here at Snetterton. It's clear skies, warm weather, decent temperatures, and a bit of a breeze in the air. I call that perfect conditions for motor racing. What a better series to complement that alongside the Mazda we've had, the Mini 7s, than the Mini Medias. So if you haven't watched these before, again, if you haven't watched these, strap yourselves in, because if you didn't see yesterday's race, again, first of all, where were you? Secondly, it was an absolute treat in the front of the grid. The first 7 or 8 cars all together in that lead group, battling against each other. That car right there, the silver and orange car, number 23, that took victory yesterday. There's Lewis Selby's car that will start in 9th place. That's the Napa Racing UK car, with a livery very much akin to that you'll see on both Dan Cavendish and Ash Sutton's cars this year as they race for Motorbase in the British Touring Car Championship and in pair of Ford Focuses. So, just for those who've never seen these before but don't know the specs on these cars, these Mini Medias are damn impressive. So, how impressive? Well, they've got a modified 1293cc A Series engine, but in terms of the stats, check this out. For a Mini, they can go from 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds. Top speed, 125 miles an hour. Minimum weight on these cars, 660 kilograms. They are only 10 kilograms heavier than a Mini 7 car, and they absolutely go like pocket rockets down the straight, as they were yesterday. They are quick in the corners, they're quick on the straights, they're quick in packs, quick on their own. They're just quick all round, and they are cool looking cars as well. Look, with their big wide flared arches, short little 10-inch wheels on Dunlop tyres. They are crossbite tyres, and they are short, they are small, but they are fast, they are rapid, they are bulky, which means they are good in a straight line. I can use every superlative descriptive adjective as well to describe these cars, but they are such good fun to watch, such good fun to race, and no wonder the Mini 7 Club has been going for since the 60s with these fantastic machines. So, quick colour check. Rob Howard in the turquoise car will start on pole position alongside Colin Peacock in the bright red car alongside him. Ashley Davis is in the blue car just behind Colin Peacock's red car. It's the green and orange car of Ben Colburn, but also watch for Kane Aston and Rupert Deeth in the silver car with the orange wheel arches. So, you ready for this one? We had a great race yesterday. Let's see if they can top it here on Sunday morning. Race 2 for the Dunlop Mini Medias and Mini Libras here at Snetterton. Red lights are on, red lights are out, and we are Mini Media racing at Snetterton. Strong start from everyone off the grid. Everyone's getting away pretty cleanly. And now the sprint down towards Red Gate. Richie's begins. It's 3, nay 4, nearly 5 abreast down towards Richie's corner. That will never work, and it doesn't. It's Kane Aston and Colin Peacock make contact. Somehow he stands on the anchors and holds on to that one. But 5, I know they're small cars, but 5 abreast into Richie's corner was never going to work. I appreciate their enthusiasm and their attempt to do it. It was never going to work. Kane Aston sideways on the apex. It's only 2 corners and they've kicked off already. It's fantastic. So, Out through the Wilson hairpin, now down the short straight. Colin Peacock in the red car they see already motoring his way through after he got the nudge from Kane Aston. That was simply just 5 cars trying to go into one, and just everyone compressed together. So it was not really anyone's fault in that point. It was simply a circumstance of how the cars were laid out. But Jeff Smith then, former British Touring Car man and last year's Mini 7 champion, in the lead then as they come towards Agostini for the first time. They are absolutely charging into Agostini. Look at them, they're leaning on their door handles. 3-wheeling, nay 2-wheeling through the corner. There's Richard Colburn, who is in the Sol Mini Libra car. Those cars are slightly more modified. They're Invitational Free Formula category. Any A-Series block, but they have to run special balance, success balance as well, depending on power and performance. So they're a little bit slower than the Miglias, but they are allows for a bit more slightly more open modification on those cars compared to others. So Smith, Aston, Aaron Smith again. Looks like up to 4th has gone Ashley Davis. Like he started 3rd on the grid, so he's actually lost a spot, pardon me. Now they come charging down the back straight for the first time, and look at them. They might be small little cars, but they've got packed such a punch in the straight line, 125 miles an hour, and they are little rocket ships down the back straight. Here they come into the complex. Aston now takes the lead. Now former champion Kane Aston, and 2nd place for Smith. There's Aaron Smith in 3rd, Davies 4th, Colburn 5th, Holman, Rob Howard in 6th, Selby's up to 7th, Rupert Deeth after he started in 8th place is still there. Phil Bullen Brown in 9th place now. P10 is Darren Cox, who of course is the man behind of course, as I say, WTF1, and he was part of Nissan's GT Academy program on the media side of things, and of course now trying racing in his hand race for the first time, and what better series to choose than Mini Miglias. Filter through Murray's corner, one after the other, bit clip of the curve. There's Darren in car 66. I think that's possibly an ex-Endaf Owens car, so good to see that car still operational. At least it's a car with an Owens tuned machine. Side by side across the line. That's only end of lap 1 now. Gaston to the inside line, but it's Jeff Smith with the run into Ritchie's and gets back into the lead. Aaron Smith in 3rd place. Then it's Colburn, Howard, Selby, Deeth, Bullen Brown and Cox rounding up the top 10. Then Sims, Colin Peacock up to 12th again after he got Bernard from Aston at turn 1. And then King, Humphreys, McDonald, LeMay and War and Richard Colburn at the back of the field. So all 18 cars that started still survive and they're still in contention. So Smith 1-2 now. Jeff ahead of Aaron. As I said, Jeff was last year's Mini 7 champion, stepping up to Mini Minis, but of course those who know him from other escapades. He's also raced in the British Touring Car Championship, hence of course he helped inspire the Jeff Army that follows him around wherever he goes. I'm sure there's some of them either watching trackside or here on the stream. Of course, hello to everyone watching on the Mini 7 YouTube and Facebook pages. Hope you're all enjoying the action as you typically do with your favourite championship. Lewis Selby there was up the inside of Rob Howard to dispose him of another position. So the pole man has now been shuffled down to about 8th now, because he's now lost out to both, I think, Rob Howard and... Sorry, Rob Howard's lost out to both Lewis Selby and now Rupert Deeth. So Rupert Deeth up past both of them into 6th. So I think Rupert's certainly not hanging around. He was yesterday's race winner. There is Rupert in the silver car with the orange wheel arches. Literally 3-wheeled their way through Williams' corner. There is the 89 car. That is Sean King, started 12th, currently showing as being about 13th or 14th place. Back towards the complex of Brundle and Nelson. They're side by side for 4th. They're about 3 abreast for the lead. As now Aaron Smith takes his turn. We've had about 4 different leaders in 2 laps. It's incredible to see that so many different position changes between this lot. There is Ashley Davis in car 87. Finished in 5th place yesterday. Here they go, leaning on their door handles through Corwin. And Rupert Deeth is already on the back of that lead group. He's in the mix now. There he is, in the silver car, so it's now the top 6 practically altogether. Aston in the tow. Smith, the 2 Smiths now bumper to bumper as they come down the pit straight, and now we see Jeff Smith move out. Aston has the tow of Aaron Smith. I wouldn't put it past them going 3 abreast, but they might well try it. They thought about it, but it is Smith side by side as Jeff sweeps out around the outside of Aaron, chops off the bumper. Kane Aston still in there, and now we've got Ben Colburn, Ashley Davis and Rupert Deeth, and Deeth is having a run on Davis for 5th position. Back towards the hairpin. Gets a slightly wider approach. Deeth looks round the outside, and you can do that if you've got enough confidence. Also in there, so you see Darren Cox has lost the place to Colin Peacock. So Colin actually is absolutely motoring, and there's also a bit of a missed gear, I think, from Phil Bullen Brown. So that was literally two cars on the space of 1 corner. So Colin Peacock has got some great pace at the moment. Colin's pace at the moment, his last lap was a 2:13.8, so he's actually lapping around sort of leader's pace at the moment. Fastest lap of the race has gone to Rupert Deeth. He's now into 5th place. He's passed Ashley Davis. Still 4th, and big move up the inside again for Phil Bullen Brown. He was never going to get that stopped. Big dive up the inside, just about gets it anchored up to stop going on the grass. And Colin Peacock must have got the fright of his life seeing that car starving up the inside. But he maintains what should be 9th place now. Yeah, so he's still in 9th place as Colin on the comeback trail after the contact at the start of the race. And again, not intentional contact, it was simply just a circumstance of the cars going 5 abreast and something had to give. Someone had to try and find some room, and Ken Aston simply just instantly moved across and tagged Colin's car. Thankfully, Colin stood on the anchors and got it stopped. Or at least he managed to stop it going off the road and compromising his race further, but he found himself right towards the back of the field. Now, Ben, 3 of them going for the lead here again as Kane Aston takes his turn, takes a double toe from both the Smiths, down the outside at Brundle, up the inside at Nelson, clips the curb and through he goes. But will he stay there? The answer is of course no, he won't. And here goes Ben Colburn, makes contact with Jeff Smith, and Colburn goes off the road. Colburn off the road, Dave. He's trying ambitiously to go round the outside of Jeff Smith on the exit of Brundle and Nelson. I didn't realise these many Miglia cars were good for rallycross as well, because he's kept his footing across the grass. That's impressive stuff from Ben, but he needs to find the grey stuff, not the green stuff. He's lost a couple of places. Let's see where that shuffled him down the order. Possibly a couple of places. Where is he? Just watch him down the timing screen. But now it's Kane Aston who takes his turn to lead a lap this time. So Aston will lead. It's then Aaron Smith in 2nd place, Jeff Smith 3rd, and here comes Rupert Death in 4th. Watch for him. Here they come. They will go 3 abreast. Here we go. Smith's either side of Aston into turn 1, and it's Aaron Smith who sweeps across and takes the lead. Jeff Smith in 2nd place, Ken Aston 3rd, and look at the run that Rupert Death has as well. He's already going down the outside. Ashley Davis is going with him. There's Aaron Smith. Here comes everyone else for 2nd. Who gets it? It's going to be Jeff Smith, then it's Aston, then Rupert Death, then Ashley Davis. Despite getting the good runs, no one changed their position at all. And there's Ben Colburn. He's now behind Phil Bull and Brown down in 11th place. So that bit of contact, I commend his enthusiasm and his eagerness to get past, but just Jeff probably didn't realise that he was that far enough alongside and was so focused on the cars in front, he simply just tried to move across on the line and had to hold on. Here comes the top 5 altogether. Lewis Selby's up to 6th as well. That's a good run from him in the number 18 machine, the Napa Racing UK car. He's sort of quietly moved his way up now there. You can see the car just about middle of the shot there. 6th position, Lewis Selby. Watch for him, because looking at his lap times, he did a 2:13.7 last time. It was the 2nd fastest car in the top 6. Only car that was faster was, you guessed it, Rupert Death in 4th place. And that's the thing, it's because you're battling so much in this pack, the more you battle with the cars around you, it just slows you down and affects your lap times. So the cars that have that clear air will have a proper toe from somebody that they can use to get the extra speed on the straights or a clear road around them in the corners. That's where the faster laps come from, not from the front runners in the first 3 or 4 places if they're that close together, but for the cars that are behind that have the clear track where they can do that. 3 abreast again into the complex, and it almost works, but Jeff Smith goes around the outside of both Aaron Smith and Kane Aston over the curb. And now he gets Aaron Smith back to his inside. They're side by side, back towards the right hand at the bomb hole. Aaron Smith has his nose in front. Jeff Smith turns and runs a little bit wide. Here comes Kane Aston. Open the door. Excuse me. I'll come back through if you don't mind. And here comes Rupert Death. He'll give Kane Aston the push through Coram. I'm not getting my breath back yet. Okay, still got 1 more sprint race to go. But the Mini Miglias did this yesterday. They almost left me breathless. They're doing it again, and there's still 11 minutes to go. Death runs wide on the exit of Murray's. He's now going to lose out possibly to Ashley Davis if he gets the toe. Now it's Aaron Smith's turn to lead down the pit straight. So, at the moment, Aaron Smith, Kane Aston, Jeff Smith, then Death, Davis, and Lewis Selby in that lead 6 now. Here comes Aston, up the inside. Well, up the outside he goes. Smith tries to defend that inside line, but again, with so much grip on these Dunlop tyres, trying to go down the outside is more than a common occurrence, so it happens more often than normal. Jeff Smith in there too. They're side by side on the exit. Here comes Aaron Smith there with Kane Aston, who made that pretty decent move around the outside. So, case in point, you can easily make a move around the outside if you want to. And he made it happen. Here comes Jeff Smith trying to do the same to Aaron Smith, this time through Palmer. And again, watch out for Lewis Selby in 6th. And Colin Peacock is back up to 7th place in the red car behind. He's got past Rob Butler, who was up there, no, so Rob Howard in the turquoise car in there. The red car just in the shot in the background. He's up to 7th. What's his lap times like? He did a 2:13.486, and he was the fastest man, faster than the 6 cars in front of him. And again, that's all the pack racing that's going on. The fact they're scrapping and moving around all the time. The cars behind, though, are simply just putting their foot down and racing as hard as they can. Those are the cars that are finding them a time and setting the personal bests and closing the gap. And it's what we say about pack racing. Once you get a pack fighting amongst each other, the cars behind that are having a better time of it start to latch on, and the group gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's now 6 cars in the lead. It'll become 7 shortly if Colin Peacock keeps up this progress. So watch out for that red car. There he is, just at the edge of shot, just with the turquoise car of Rob Howard just behind him. Who's going to lead this time out of Brundle and Nelson? It looks like it's going to be Aaron Smith this time. Kane Aston second, then Jeff Smith third, Deethy in fourth, Davis fifth, still Selby in sixth position. Some stuff here. Well, the only drivers are missing Rick is Andy Jordan, but not here this weekend, sadly, due to other commitments. Of course, Mikey's here this weekend, but racing, as you see, racing in the Mini 7's got a win in the third place. Miglia's here, putting on one awesome show here, as they always do wherever they go. They've supported the British Touring Car Championship, they've supported DTM, and with good reason, because they bring fantastic grid numbers and brilliant racing alongside it, and they are a perfect complement to any race weekend, I have to say, genuinely. Here they come again. Aston this time looks to the outside line. Is he going to be able to make it through this time? Down the outside? Of course he is down the outside. It's a Mini Miglia. They can always pass around the outside, and he's done that just so once more. Davis is also under big pressure for Lewis Selby as well. And I wonder, with Colin Peacock's pace, is this where he stops? Unless these guys kick off once again. He's pushing hard, I'll give you that. He really is going for it, but he really is having to work hard to try and catch up to these six again. There's 8.25 minutes left on the clock. But again, it's one of those races where you kind of want to say, hide the checkered flag, because you don't want this race to end. And flash of the headlights there from Kane Aston in sequence, just to try and let one of the back markers know that he's on his way. I think that might be the 89 of King, I think, that he's got to try and get past as a back marker. He'll be a help in terms of a tow, but a hindrance if he holds him up. So he's going to be very careful how he picks his way through, because again, these cars not only are about pace and raceability, but it's also about momentum. Same with the Mini 7s. If you make one small mistake and you move one inch out of line, and the rest of the pack will be straight on you to try and make a move and take full advantage. So there is Sean King. He's in the 89 car. Now, this will benefit Aston getting a tow here, because these are quite boxy, small cars. They do punch quite a large hole in the air, as Lewis Selby tries to keep untouched with the top five. Because they are quite boxy, when they get in the slipstream, they punch quite a large hole in the air, so the cars behind can close up and take full advantage of a massive slipstream down the straight. Good driving from Sean King. Well done for getting out of the way of the leaders there. It was good, thoughtful driving from him to make sure he wasn't getting involved. That's all the top six past, and then carries on with his own race. And both Colin Peacock and Rob Butler have, Rob Howard, forgive me, Rob Howard have found themselves dropping away in 7th and 8th position, so they're a little bit out of it now. So I think possibly 7th place is as high as Rob Howard, as Colin Peacock will rise after his earlier contact at the start. You have to say, the race winner surely has to come from one of these 6 cars. Primarily these 4, I think, after the leading group of 6, because it's both the Smiths, Aston, and Deep all together. Okay, and Aston now with the fastest lap of the race, 2:12.167, so they're getting close to sub 2:12s now. Ooh, and Aaron Smith, I thought he was going around the outside, but instead he tried to go for a last-minute switchback into Ritchie's, and found Kane Aston put his car parked right on the apex. That was never going to work. That could have been quite an accident if that happened. The race carries on though. And now as they come down the straight towards the left-hander Palmer, still as they go on, here is the further back. This is the number 71 car, and that is the 71 car of Larry Waugh, running on his own in, whereabouts he? 15th position, so he's a bit further back behind Tony LeMay. 5.75 minutes to go. Still this magnificent 6-pack of cars on the front of the field in this second Dunlop Mini Miglia Championship race, supported by Mini Spares. You can see why, again, they're freewheeling through these corners. They're so stiffly sprung, these little Mini Miglias. They do freewheel quite a lot. If you watch them through every single corner, they will just lift the inside rear wheel, whichever corner they're going into. Case in point, there they go again. Look, 3 wheels on their wagon through the corner. It is a great sight. Wherever they go, as they have done here this weekend, they provide fantastic entertainment, these Mini Miglias, and with good reason. 5 minutes to go. Here he comes. I think that looks like Aaron Smith. Yes, he does. Round the outside. Of course he is. And he thinks about it. Oh, and there's contact. He hits the back of Kane Aston's car. Kane saves it, and there's more contact. Now, Aaron Smith backs off a little bit. This gives Jeff Smith the run up the inside. Up he goes to 2nd place. He's dislodged front bumper and something else. I think more bodywork flies off from Aaron Smith's car through the bomb hole. It might affect him a bit aerodynamically, because he'll have air that's going through the hole in the vacant headlight socket, socket where that was. You have Jeff Smith right on the tail of Kane Astin, throws that car into the apex at Murray's. There goes 7th and 8th. There's Peacock and Howard. And that is Phil Bull and Brown with a problem. Phil Bull and Brown's off the road. Has he lost steering? Is it just a mechanical problem? Either way, number 48 car's in trouble. And here goes Jeff Smith down the outside. 4 minutes to go. I think they've been waiting here. 4 minutes done. 4 minutes to go now. And they've decided, right, a couple of laps left, fellas. Let's really turn up the heat. Phil Bull and Brown, I'm afraid, will not see the checker flag. His car's way off the road, so that shouldn't be anything more than maybe just a brief local single yellow, I think. But we'll wait and see what Clark of the course, Tony Weatherly, decides to do with that one. I suspect it would just be maybe just a local yellow that's covered there for a moment until he gets the driver out of the car. 3 3/4 minutes left. Still, Jeff Smith then, still holding on to the lead. But of course, it's anyone's guess here. Another small piece of bodywork flies off from somebody. Can't quite tell who. I suspect maybe it's the slightly battle-scarred Aaron Smith car that's losing pieces of, or further pieces of its face, shall we say. And Rupert Deeth is not quite in there. Here's Richard Colburn, who's in our Sol Mini Libra category, so he, of course, will get points for that as well. So Colburn exits out of the shots, and he's having a quiet race to himself in 16th place, not too far away from the number 28 machine. That's the one of the last Miglia car. Robert Humphreys there in 15th place. He's not too far away from, so we'll see if we can catch him. Still keep our focus with these two trios of mini Miglias at the front. So here they come, and they are going 3 abreast. They're daring to do it, and it's going to be Aaron Smith, I think, that will come out on top of that. Yes, he will. Now remember, these two this point last time made contact. It was Aaron Smith into the back of Astin. This time Astin not so robust, shall we say. He holds on to the position. And Rupert Deeth is leading the second group of 3 cars, but he's now under big pressure from Ashley Davis, who is having a look up the inside to try and pick up 4th position if he can. Here they come, back to Corm again. Again, 3-wheeling back towards Murray's. Aaron Smith, Kane Astin, Jeff Smith, then it's Deeth, Davis, Selby all together. Look at their lap times. I think this is going to be the last lap of the race, I think. And again, to use a phrase David Addison coined, hide the checker flags. I don't want this race to end. It's been magnificent stuff, but now is the time they're going to do it. They're going to make a move. It has to be now. Here is Sims, Darren Cox, and the number 88 car, which is McDonald. And they are, since Kieran McDonald, they are scrapping over at the moment 10th, 11th, and 12th. So that's a good battle towards the bottom of the top 10. Meanwhile, the leaders have now seen Rupert Deeth really close up now. He's right onto the back of Kane Astin here, so he might have a chance. If he plays his cards right, he could still get a podium at this rate, but he's just been sat back the last couple of laps, just trying to close up and bring maybe Ashley Davis and Lewis Selby with him. He's now decided, forget that, I'm going for my own gains here, and he's going to try and push on if he can. Side by side for second. Kane Astin tries to put himself level with Jeff Smith before they hit the brakes. He moves across, trying to force him out wide. This gives an invitation for Rupert Deeth to go up the inside. Meanwhile, Lewis Selby leaves Ashley Davis a 5th. Davis all over the curb, and there's been a contact between them. And just about holds on. There's a bit of damage, I'm sure, to Davis's car, but Selby does get through. He just ran Davis out of room a little bit, and that just caused him to fall back a little. Meanwhile, Darren Cox looks down the outside of Kieran McDonald. And Kieran was actually behind both of those cars at the start of the lap, but he's now got himself through pretty quickly. Now, as he goes up the inside, he's going to be under threat from Mark Sims as they come up towards the end of this complex of corners in the midfield. But now, Aaron Smith has now pulled away here at this final lap of the race. 35 seconds left on the clock as the spectators on the bank watch the minis fly down the back straight. Side by side for second. Astin will have a look around the outside if he can. But no, Jeff Smith has that line covered through Nelson. A little wide there for Aaron Smith, and again for Jeff, both of them wiggling the rear of these little minis over the curve. Deeth might be in contention for a podium if he manages to snatch it on the run to the checkered flag. They're not as close as I'm sure they would have anticipated them to be, but I think it might well be possibly the order set, but we'll see what happens on this final sprint to the flag. Up towards Coro, Jeff Smith is really closing up. Is this done yet? I don't think it is. Up to the right-hander at Murray's. He might be in show for possibly a run to the flag here. So up to the checkered flag, and what's been another sensational Dunlop Mini Miglia race here at Snetterton. Up to the line they come. All the four leaders as ones that comes to the line. It's going to be Aaron Smith who wins, Jeff Smith in second place, Kane Astin in third, Rupert Deeth finishes 4th. Ashley Davis and Lewis Selby were side by side over the line, and they finished with Davis ahead of Selby by 0.162 of a second, and immediately Aaron Smith pulls the car up. So either that car was overheating or had a problem. Either way, Aaron Smith was very lucky to hold on to that race win. So the race-winning car of Aaron Smith pulls up with an issue right after the checkered flag. And Colin Peacock manages 7th place, Howard is 8th, Coleman is 9th, Kieran McDonald is 10th, and then Mark Sims 11th, Cox is 12th, LeMay is 13th. And we're seeing here Humphreys now coming through in 28th place of 15th. And across the line he will come. And Richard Colburn will come across as the sole Mini Libra contingent. He will come across the line to finish in 16th place overall. And the 2 cars looks like we did lose. Well, it looks like if Sean King has come through, looks like he stopped somewhere. But if he's finished already, if not, I'm afraid we've lost Sean King in the closing stages. We lost Phil Bullen-Brown after we saw his car going off with a problem. There is Phil Bullen-Brown's car. Phil has the car, so obviously he's perfectly okay. But the car sadly not so mechanically, which is a shame. So, great stuff from the Mini Medias. Of course, they'll head off for their next rounds in a few weeks' time. But of course, here's the results from that second race. And Aaron Smith then holds on just after his car expires at the end. He wins from Jeff Smith and Kane Aston on the podium, followed by Rupert Death in 4th, Ashley Davis 5th, Lewis Selby 6th. And the top 4 was covered by less than a second, 8/10 between them. Then it's 5th for Davis, 6th for Selby, 7th for... get back to that result actually. 7th for Peacock, 8th for Rob Howard, 9th for Ben Colburn, 10th for Kieran McDonald, then Mark Sims, followed by Darren Cox, Tony LeMay, Larry Ward, Robert Humphreys, and our sole Mini Libra driver, which of course was Richard Colburn. And of course then Phil Bullen-Brown and Sean King did not finish. So I think we can go down to Parc Fermé, who for the final time we can have a chat to our Mini drivers. Here's Richard with our top 3 for that second incredible Mini Miglia race.
Well, we're going to caveat that. Unfortunately, Aaron Smith apparently pulled off the circuit before he could come round, so very clearly got a problem. So we're going to have to try and catch up with Jeff Smith instead. Jeff is over here, so Jeremy will go this way and grab Jeff Smith, who's still working on the car. Jeff, we're going to interrupt you because you're our top... he's doing the tyre pressures, and well done, mate.
Thank you.
Another cracking race. I mean, it's absolutely superb. I say it every time, people get fed up with it, but it is great racing.
Oh, it's mega, and it's so close, and yeah, again, just enough respect, and there's a bit of rubbing now and again, but no, it's really good close racing.
Aaron didn't make it round. Did you see anything wrong with the car?
No, I didn't, to be honest. No, he come over the start line, obviously pulled it over. So,
how do you keep your concentration and your cool when the racing is like that?
I think it's called life, isn't it? You're there to live.
It's a metaphor, isn't it?
If you get it wrong, you're going to get hurt. So yeah, it's just I don't know. It's an instinct, I guess, isn't it, with drivers? So
yeah. As I drove in, I was remarking how all of the cars look immaculate, and you've just done, completed 2 fantastic races this weekend, and it is gleaming, this car.
Maybe that's why Aaron pulled off, because he's lost the front headlight and I think the bumper.
Right.
But it wasn't on me.
It definitely wasn't you. Jeff, great to see you, mate. Well done on 2 podia this weekend. We'll catch you a little bit later on in the season. So we're going to go to our 3rd place driver, Kane Aston, who's having a little gym wag at the moment. We've got to try and find Colin Peacock as well, but we'll try and get the podium finish for you first of all. Let's see where our other drivers are. Let's have a quick look. At the moment, the podium interview is still going. There was one Libra class car in that race, which was Richard Colburn. I don't think Richard's here either. I do know him, so I can't spot him anywhere in the class, but it would have been nice just to have had a little chat about how the Libra cars work. But another cracking race, wasn't it, under the sunshine here. We've got one more sprint race to come, which is the Mazda Mark 1s, and we'll be seeing those in just a moment. And right, final podium, just waiting for Adam to finish up, and we will be with you. I'll tell you what, I bet the one thing is Scott's glad for the break, because those races absolutely breathless and very well called indeed. That's, actually, while we're doing that, Joe Polly's here. Joe, I'm going to grab a quick word with you. We're waiting for our last interview. Here we go. Joe, you were out earlier on. Good race?
Yeah, it was. It was a really good race, actually. It was hard work, yeah. Kept me on my toes. A lot of place swapping all the way around for the whole race. So, yeah, really good.
I was saying to Jeff, you know, just how immaculate these cars are. It works in both classes, don't they? I mean, the love and attention that goes into the cars is extremely well detailed, even after the racing.
Yeah, definitely. And to race as close as we do and come off like with no marks on the car is really good. It's a testament to how good all the drivers are.
That's really good. Great to catch up with you. Can you point Colin Peacock out to me, please? Because I've got to try and catch him. Is he here?
He is on the weighbridge there.
He's on the way. We're going to go over and have a... Joe, thanks for chatting to us, and well done, Jeff, for that. Let's go and see if we can pick up Colin on the... Oh, there he is. He's in the garage. I'm going to drag him out. So, Colin... So really sorry to bother you, fella, but we were just wondering if we could have a quick word with you about the organisation and great racing. And thank you very much. Tell us about your role in the club, first of all.
Well, I try to do this organising the circuits we go to, the clubs we go to, like the BRSCC, and try to make everyone want to join the club and make the racing great. So have a look at the regulations, although I don't really know where the engine is in some cases. I think it's in the front, but I'm not really. That's about as technical as I get.
It's a fantastic club. I know the BRSCC are delighted to have you guys along, and the fans are as well. It's been super racing. It's complemented the Mazdas and the sports cars at C1 superb.
Yeah, we try to be clean. You know, we try to make it. I mean, look at the grid. I mean, it was just right up there, 7 or 8 in the sort of leading pack. The same yesterday. Anyone can win it. It's out the top 8. Qualifying is really quite, and it's just a series that's growing and growing. Believe it or not, we've been going since 1966, and we're getting bigger and bigger grids since ever really. We got Brands Hatch Mini Festival. We're with you again in July with Donington Park. We really like the coverage, by the way, just to compliment you on the coverage.
Thank you very much, very kind.
It goes directly on our Facebook page. We're getting a lot of viewers, so we really like that. So that's a really good job. And we're with you for the season ending at Silverstone. It's an international circuit.
We look forward to that. And I'll tell you what, it's not just the iconic Mini. Everyone loves a Mini anyway, but what you guys do as a club to bring the racing out, and I said to Jeff, the cars are absolutely immaculate.
Yeah, and the social side as well. I think you should also emphasise that. We had a hog roast last night. One of the drivers paid for that, the charity thing. Yeah, it's a really great weekend away, and everyone seems to love it. More the merrier.
Look forward to seeing you again. Colin, thanks ever so much for your time. Colin Peacock there from the Mini 7 Racing Club. Things are getting a little bit noisy behind me, as you can hear. Also, out on track for our final Mazda race of the weekend. The Mark 1's back to Scott Woodwis for the grid and the rundown.